the action? Where's the fun and thrills for all the family? At Washington's only amusement park, Marshall Hall. A roller coaster with a thrill a minute, skydiver, giant slide, super scrambler, flashy trabant, spinning tilt-a-whirl, thrilling Swiss bobs, and lots of rides and fun for tots, too. Marshall Hall for fun, and more fun. Fun for the whole family, for your club or social group. Marshall Hall also provides shady spots for picnicking. Come by car, take exit 37 south on Indian Head Highway from the Beltway. Or for still more fun, come by the Wilson Line's big modern cruiser down the beautiful historic Potomac. The boat leaves Saturdays and Sundays at 2 p.m. from Main Avenue and 6th Street in beautiful Southwest Washington. Free parking. Remember, for a barrel of fun every Saturday and Sunday, it's Marshall Hall.
Hello everyone, today I'm at Marshall Hall, Maryland. This area may look like a quiet park today, but at one time this was an amusement park, a pretty big amusement park that started in the late 1800s and ran all the way up until 1980. I'll give you a little story of what happened to the amusement park and why you don't see much around here anymore. But right in front of me, there's this building. Now, before this land was an amusement park, there was a plantation here, run by the Marshall family. That's where this area gets its name from, Marshall Hall. Now, this mansion is original to the property. And right here, this is a kitchen house that was separate from the mansion. And the mansion had a fire in 1981, about a year after the amusement park closed down, and it's just been sitting here in ruins. The National Park Service actually owns it and has it fenced off, but the fire in 1981 was believed to have been an arson. But actually, I'm not going to cross it because there's a gate here for a reason, but it's not actually even locked anymore. You can see, like, anyone could just walk right through. It doesn't look like anyone's been keeping an eye on this property for a long time, but that's the original mansion right here. And as you can see, there's a little sign. This sign looks like it's been here for quite a while. It's starting to fall apart. But as you can see, you could just walk right through that gate. There's nothing keeping it shut anymore. Now, one time in history, there were quite a few attractions here. The place was actually very popular, and a lot of people who grew up in Washington, D.C., especially kids, would take the ferry down here to come to the amusement park. There was a wood roller coaster, Ferris wheel, all sorts of rides and attractions here. And in the 1950s, this county, Charles County, which Marshall Hall is located in, had legalized slot machines. One of the very few counties, not only in the area, but in the country, that had that at the time. So they had whole buildings here dedicated with slot machines and all sorts of stuff. The problem arose from the Virginia side, where Mount Vernon is. And with Mount Vernon being a historic residence, the home of George Washington, many people who preserved the land there did not want the landscape to change on the other side of the river. They wanted it to remain as Washington would have seen it. Obviously, during Washington's lifetime, this plantation here, the Marshall Plantation, was active. So one reason why the structure was never actually torn down is because it was here during Washington's life. So the whole thing happened in the 70s. The owner of the property here, his name was Joseph Goldstein. He actually had plans. He wanted to make this more like a Disney-like attraction. He wanted to expand on it and add a lot more. And he started cutting a lot of trees down around the shore here. And people started urging the National Park Service to purchase the land from him to try to keep it from becoming this big attraction over here across from Mount Vernon. And the National Park Service was actually able to purchase it from him. And once it closed in 1980, they quickly tore down all the rides and attractions that were here. And essentially, that was it for the Marshall Hall amusement park. From pictures, a lot of the attractions were back here, it seems. I'm just trying to see if they left any remains of anything at all. It looks like they did a pretty good job at taking everything out. There's the Potomac River right there. That is the way a lot of people used to come here. There were ferries in Washington, D.C., right up the river from here. And so many kids that grew up in Washington, D.C., especially in the 40s and 50s, have fond memories of traveling down here to Marshall Hall for a fun day at the amusement park. This was the biggest amusement park at the time in the Washington, D.C. area. It's just crazy to think about all the people who used to come out here for fun. All the smells of the food, the noise, the crowds, and now it's just nothing. It's just total quietness out here, except for the sounds of nature itself. In fact, I hear a lot more noise coming from across the river in Virginia than I do here. I hear cars and emergency vehicles over there, but over here I hear nothing. Now, over here there's actually a cemetery, which is actually surprising that it survived the amusement park days. But this cemetery was the Marshall family plot. On most plantations, you have a tomb or a plot where the family members are buried. And there's actually the cemetery over here. But this is the family cemetery. So if we're able to go in, if there's an entrance, some of these cemeteries, the gates are locked. See what's in there. And this cemetery does have a lock on it, but it's not locked. So let's go in. So again, this is the Marshall family cemetery. It looks like someone's been in here trying to, I guess, mulch the area, grow grass, clean it up. I don't know exactly. Looks like I think there's a lot of Thomases here because I think every son was named Thomas. So I'm trying to see if I can find the original Thomas. Probably one of the graves towards the back that look a little older. Here's a plaque on this one. It says, Dr. Thomas Marshall, Revolutionary Soldier and Patriot, Senior Surgeon, Hospital Department. And there's another plaque on the grave right here. Thomas Hanson Marshall, Revolutionary War Soldier and Patriot. Here's one of the older graves right here. Can't even make out much on it anymore. Trying to find the original Thomas who would have ran the plantation here. With this one, you can't read it. I think it might be this one right here. That died 1795. I think this might be the original Thomas Marshall, who ran this property as a plantation in the 1700s. 1795, that was a few years before George Washington passed away. So I think this is the grave of the original Thomas Marshall. And again, when this was an amusement park, there would have been attractions all around this. A lot of them would have been towards the water because they wanted people from the water to be able to see the attractions, but there still would have been stuff around here. It's just crazy to think that this cemetery survived that. Right here is the first thing I see of any, I guess, ruins of something that once stood. I don't know if this was some sort of well or something, or if it was some support beam for something that once stood here. If it was like if there was once a reinforced concrete beam that came through here for something. But that's the first thing I saw that looks like this. I thought I would see a lot more of stuff similar to this laying around. Up there, there's something. We'll go take a look at it. All right, so this looks like it was most recently used as a grill. I don't know if that was its original purpose or when it was placed here. I mean, it looks pretty old. Right over here is a picnic table area. This concrete also looks pretty old, like it was put down a long time ago. So I don't know if this is originally from the amusement park days or if it was placed here after. I mean, it looks like it probably was. Like right here, you see that? Looks like there might have been something that came out of there. You see that right there too. Like this would have been some support platform for maybe a building or an attraction that was here of some sort. It's concrete. Definitely now looking at it closer, it looks like there was something here at one point. Whether it was a building, like a snack bar, or an attraction. There's a grill laying right there. Someone put a grill there, but also you got some old chunks right here of some old concrete and stuff. Right here along this tree, there's some old road pieces, and also I didn't really notice this when I first walked over, but there is road here, and I think this is original road from the amusement park. As you can see, it's not all the way down. It kind of comes apart and then comes back. So I think this is original. Like I said, the amusement park essentially centered right around the kitchen, the mansion, and everything. Alright guys, I'm back on this trail where I was a little earlier. I'm just going to continue to walk down it. I want to see if it leads to maybe a opening at the river where maybe we might be able to see Mount Vernon across the way. This is the Potomac River. And this is about the last area I haven't explored here yet. See if there's anything here. And I think I can see Mount Vernon, yeah. I'm gonna see if the river opens up, because you can see it through these tree lines, kind of. The mansion of Mount Vernon, where George Washington lived. But if it opens up down here, you'll definitely be able to see it without the trees in the way. And it looks like it does. Fortunately, there's a lot of trash back here. People have dumped a lot of stuff back here. So that's Virginia. Let me see if I can get a good view of the mansion. So I gotta go this way a little bit. And there's something right here too. I know there used to be docks out here that the ferries would dock up on when they brought people here. So this might have been the path where the docks were at for the ferries. All right. So let me zoom in. If it'll focus. Focus. Alright guys, I'm having trouble getting the focus, but right there is Mount Vernon. If I zoom back to, so that's Mount Vernon right there. I wish I could get a better view for you guys, but it's not really cooperating. But right here along the Potomac River, alright guys, that's about it for here at Marshall Hall. Thanks for coming along as I explored the ruins, and what I mean by ruins is what I was able to find, a few pieces of concrete of the old Marshall Hall amusement park site. It's just crazy to think, especially during like the 30s, 40s, and 50s, kids in the city taking the ferry down here for probably like a nickel or something and hanging out at the amusement park here all day, and then taking it back up to DC. And then in the late 50s, slot machines, adults coming down here to play the slot machines, and this place had a lot of energy, a lot of people. It's just crazy to think that this site that just looks like a abandoned field once had so many fond memories and was once one of the biggest attractions in the Washington, D.C. area. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, this is Fixed Image. Saying peace.